Hello. Hi. We're Zerlina and Carolina, director and associate at Studio ZNA Lighting Design from up the road in Hackney. Didn't take us very long to get here. And we're here today to talk you through 4 of our projects. We've chosen these 4 because they are all in public spaces. They're museums in and around London, so they'll be around for the next 20 years. So if you do want to go and see the projects for yourself and have any feedback, you'd be very welcome. So like any lighting designers, when we first approach a project, we assess the site. And in this assessment, we're looking at the qualities of the space, the beauties of the space, its natural rhythms, its response to daylight, its existing conditions, and what are its challenges? What's the visual disturbance, perhaps the glare, the imbalances in the space? And by looking at this, we draw up a series of lighting hierarchies from which we form our concepts, which we then take through to scheme and on to completion. Now, Carolina's going to start talking you through a couple of these case studies.
Okay. Our first project is a Sir Joseph Houghton gallery at the British Museum. It's a 115-meter long gallery and actually is the longest gallery in Europe. It's housing a massive collection coming from China and Southeast of Asia. When we started to design a project, we start from the site visit. This is a picture taken from our first site visit of the space. When we do the site visit, we try to find all the strength and all the weakness the space can present. So we can start to do it like kind of together now, looking at the picture. So we can see a very bright light coming from the fenestration on the right-hand side, and then a central gallery corridor that is kind of dark. And we can see also a vast collection of objects that actually is pretty dark and difficult to be seen. Okay, so we can find our challenges, and our strategy, lighting strategy, will be trying to address those challenges with our lighting scheme. This is a picture taken from the same space, same actual view of the space, but once these challenges have been addressed. So we managed to control the daylight coming through the gallery, and also we managed to get the objects more visible in the space, and we kind of highlighted the main vista. Let's play a game together. Let's do spot the difference. So we got the same space, 2 images. One is taken before the makeover, and the second one is taken after the makeover. So in the first one, we can see that the glare caused from the daylight is actually creating a flat image. The objects are not really interesting outside the glasses, and also the glass is taken like a green tint that is not kind of nice on some objects. So we managed to control the daylight and actually create a more interesting background of the objects. In fact, we not only added an accent light on the star object in front of the glass, but also we kind of lit softly the background with a warmer tone of light. Let's play again the game with another spot the difference. So we got the same space, a picture from before, a picture from after. The daylight is making us struggling to see the objects inside the bay. Actually, the objects looks like kind of outline. It's not very well lit, but we know that there is a lot of light trying to illuminate this object. So we managed to reduce the glare coming through the gallery, applying a fabric in front of the window with the correct amount of opacity that allows us to see through the window, and also to keep the dialogue with between the inside the building and outside the building. Also, we can see how the vitrine lighting looks different from before the makeover and after the makeover. Before the makeover, the only lighting was like a fluorescent light with a not good color rendering from the top of the case. All the objects and the display objects in a different layer wasn't enabling like to see the objects properly. What we did study was like a bespoke lighting system that actually was working in on three sides, so from the two sides and also from the top level. This bespoke system has been taken with the Roblon manufacturer, and actually it's a combined system of axle light and diffuse light. We did study this system also talking with the curator and conservator. We are lucky when we work in the museum because we can understand what's the story behind every single object. And also we can decide what's the best lighting for every single detail of the objects and how the light needs to be around the objects and be touched by the object. The next image is one image from the BM archive. There are, what we can see is like a series of suspension for every single bay of the gallery. And we try to keep this concept to the suspension for every single bay of the gallery. We tried to recreate in every single bay a kind of exclusive salon of the arts, so the visitor can enjoy like an intimate space. I can enjoy every single object in a different way. We did study these bespoke elements that is created from brass on top and laser cut stone on the bottom. The laser cut stone is a diffusing light, and then we did also added a tiny spotlight on top of the fittings to highlight and celebrate the ceiling of the gallery. Now we changed the venue and we changed the scale of the project. This is the Science Museum and this is the Linbury Gallery. These are reopened only a few weeks ago, actually. And what was interesting from this project is that we studied like a lighting system with two main fundamental elements. So we got the ceiling track and also the internal lighting. The ceiling track is not only like functional lighting, but we use the ceiling track to highlight the structure and the setworks that has been designed for housing the objects. So we did use the ceiling track to highlight all the steel punched and also to highlight all the objects that were on open display. The other element of our lighting scheme was the internal lighting of the single showcases. So in this project, our struggle was in fact the internal lighting, because every single showcases was housing like a very varied collection of different objects. So we got like different material inside of same showcases. Different material means also that you need to put on the objects different lighting levels. Like we know that we need to allow for like paper works only 50 lux, wooden works only 100 lux, and we can go higher on metal and golden objects. So the struggle was to keep in the same showcases so many materials so different, and they need to look at the same. We can't start the object below, like following the material. They need to look all beautiful. We did also use a different linear fitting to stagger the lighting and the display. And also we did use like a particular lighting system for the globes that is from the 1600 century. And actually, the conservator were really keen to not put any internal lighting inside the cases. So what we did study was, let's lighting from externally. Let's put like a frosted glass on top, so the lighting received from the object was really diffused and really low. And also keep like a reflective material below the object, so to give like a 360-degree illumination to the objects. The end of the project was like to create also like mise en scène for particular objects, and those objects, in fact, they were displayed in a different way just to show to the visitor how they were used during the time. So we did kind of use a theatrical kind of way of lighting. So we did use the side lights, and also we did use like prop lights, for example, the window in the slide now.
This next project is in Bletchley Park, just outside of London, where a lot of the decoding work was done during World War II. And for this project, what looks like from the exterior is just a very innocuous work hut. What we wanted to create when you went inside the exhibition was a multi-sensory journey, tracing the history of the bomb, the encrypting machine that was developed there in the very room that it was housed. So what we wanted to do was inject the activity and show that narrative within the room itself. The challenge here was that it's a listed building of historical significance. So, of course, we couldn't pin into the structure at all or make any invasive invasions into the structure. So we, along with the designers Nissen Richards Studios, developed what we called a lighting furniture, which was in cohesion with the 3D design to house our lighting instruments. And here you see the finished scheme, and you'll note that this housing in the furniture that links the display cases to different display areas and objects. You'll see that it houses a diffuse linear light for kind of ambience, micro spotlights for highlighting objects, lens linears for doing colour pops and for pops onto graphics and to add texture, and then also what you don't see here moving is actually a pixelated LED, which sends signals between different displays to show the connectivity between pieces of objects and the mechanics of this process. And in concept, that was to refer to the kind of early networking and circuiting that was developed at Bletchley Park, very important. So you'll see on your left there the early sketches, almost like line drawings connecting the exhibition pieces. So with synchronized sound, light and video, this really created a kind of sensory journey and told the story of this really significant piece of technology. Our final museum is over in South Kensington, the New Design Museum. Again, in a listed building, so the challenges of that. The 1960s, what was the old Commonwealth building, under the iconic paraboloid roof, huge sloping roof. And here we needed to make a really dramatic impact from the atrium when you first enter the museum, because the permanent collections gallery was right up on the second floor, and to draw people in and to communicate the energy of the product on display in the designer user maker gallery, we wanted to really, really pop this out. We also had a really mixed collection and some areas of real mass display, so how you develop a strategy without having shadow, without having kind of strange angle lines. So a very kind of democratic approach, actually, to mass display lighting. Now we'll just show you a short video, and I can talk you through some of the strategies. So also because we couldn't, fix to the structure, the ceiling structure, that being listed, we developed a lighting structure that acted both with 3D and for the lighting to support the built structure, the 3D, but also act as a light carrier for cableways and for all of our lighting. You'll see here there's the diffuse sources and accent lighting to spotlights, as well as integrated concealed lighting into setworks. So a real kind of a large toolkit of strategies for this project to make the energy of each section of creativity in this designer gallery really start to sing out. And you can see all of these galleries at the moment, and yeah, we'd welcome any comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.